Okay, so we've talked about Xamarin Test Cloud. That is a better way for developers to test their apps. We've talked about the Xamarin Insights, which is a better way for developers to monitor their apps. Let's start focusing on the Xamarin Platform, which is the one that we're going to be using throughout the entire course. So Xamarin Platform is a better way for developers to build their apps. That's what Xamarin says, and it's actually quite true, you know. With the Xamarin Platform, you can actually share your code across multiple platforms. And by multiple platforms, I mean iOS, Android, Windows, and Mac applications. These will all share the same C# code base. So you'll be using the same language, the same APIs, the same data structures on each of these platforms. You build an iOS an app once and you run it on an iOS, an Android, a Windows, and a Mac device. Now, Xamarin Platform uses C#, and let me warn you, you may fall in love with C# throughout the course. Now, with C# you can of course do anything that you can do with Objective-C or Swift on iOS and Java on Android. And of course C# on Windows and Objective-C and Swift on Mac. But the main point is that whatever you think you're able to do with any of those languages, you can actually do it in C# as well, and it's quite simple. And you may think, oh my god, I already learned Swift, or I already learned Objective-C, or I already learned Java. Do I have to learn C# now? Well, let me tell you a little secret. When it comes to programming, it's not about learning a language. It's about learning how to code. Once you know how to code, you can code in any language. You just have to understand data structures and a little bit about the syntax. But that's why I'm here. I'm going to walk you through all of those things. Now, with the Xamarin Platform, of course, you have native UI, native API access, and because of this, your app performs natively. Because it is native, it has native performance. Now, what does this mean? This means that if you create a text box, when you run it on an Android device, it's going to look as a text box looks on an Android device. And if you run it on an iOS device, it's going to look as a text box, or in this case text field, looks on an iOS device. So it's going to have native UI. The APIs that you have on each of these platforms are actually used. Xamarin is not creating any API, it's just accessing the native APIs, so the performance is actually native because you're actually using those native APIs. All of this can't at all be achieved with other solutions because most of the other solutions for multi-platform development, all they do is create HTML or web-based applications, and that is never native. So they never have native performance, which you can achieve with Xamarin Platform.